Welcome back to another episode of How Did They Grow? I created this podcast because I wanted you to learn how other coaches, freelancers, service providers, and course sellers are growing their business, landing 10 to 20 new clients every single month, paying them 50, 100, 200K months. See, if they've done it, you can too. And that's just the reality. And I want you to listen to these podcasts to understand what strategies are they using, what techniques are they exploring, because it's in these gems that you can apply it to your business and actually scale things up. When you're ready and you feel like you actually want to learn practical, proven methodologies, or even you want to hire a team that can build you a profitable personal brand, book in a chat with our team because we can guarantee you go viral and guarantee you get clients for your business.
And welcome, guys, to the How Did They Grow podcast. Today we have Elliot Popkin. Tell us a bit about yourself, Elliot.
Pleasure to be here. So I'm a business development coach. I've been doing that for about 25 years now. And I wrote my first book a few years ago, and happy to say it became a bestseller.
That's amazing. Tell us about the book.
So the book's about my life. I didn't expect to write that book, but sometimes from an artistic standpoint, you kind of just get out of the way and you're a vessel. But I ended up writing an autobiography. At the end of each chapter, I wrote a letter to that version of myself saying everything I would have wanted to hear at the time. It was probably the most healing thing I've ever done. I grew up in a very unsafe environment. My dad was an addict, was physically abusive to me for most of my childhood. So writing the book, initially I thought I was going to write a book about business and sales, and ended up writing that. And it was one of the best things I've done for myself.
I think that's amazing. What's the title of the book?
Circle. Letters to my younger self.
Circle. Wow. So tell us a little bit about your business. Where did you start? When did you start getting into business? And how did that come up to the point where you have this coaching business that you have now? Is this the first business you had? Tell us everything.
Oh yeah, no, not the first. So the first business I owned, I was 19. We painted people's homes. Yeah, it was, whoa, did I learn a lot. It was really fun. I found the sales aspect of it challenging, but I did learn a lot. And then I moved to Los Angeles. I recorded my first album as a singer-songwriter. I moved to LA to make it in the music industry, and I was struggling. So I accepted a consulting job to help people settle their tax debt, of all things. No experience whatsoever. But I learned very quickly. Every day, I would talk to like 5 or 10 business owners in all parts of the country, all industries, and they were all struggling. And some of them had brand new businesses, and some of them had businesses that had been around for many years. What I quickly learned was, irregardless of the industry, where in the country they were, how big of a company, when they were struggling, they would often make a lot of the same choices. And I realized at that point, no one was helping these people restructure their businesses. And that's literally how my consulting started. It grew from that. And I've been doing it for just about 25 years now. And my client revenue just went over 155 million.
So how do you mostly get your clients? Is it like through social media? Do you do any marketing? How does that work?
So historically, it was always referrals. You know, I've been in this for 25 plus years. Social media did not even exist. I remember I had this big cell phone, but I did realize that a lot of people don't know me on social media, and I don't know if this TV show is available internationally. There's a show here in the United States called Undercover Billionaire.
Okay.
Fascinating show. The premise is they take an entrepreneur and they put them in a brand new city. They give them $100, and the goal is they have to grow a brand new business to a $1 million valuation in 90 days. Sounds insane to people. I think it's absolutely fascinating. So I had this idea, well, if no one knows me on social media, let me give myself the same exact challenge. And every single day I'm going to post about it. And I'm going to be really authentic and honest. I want people to see the challenge and the struggle. One of the phrases I talk about a lot when I'm coaching businesses is pause and pivot. And I want them to see how quickly, hopefully, I'm able to pivot when needed. This is not, this is something occurring in 90 days. So if there's a challenge, we have to address it fast. And
Yeah.
so I did do that. I gained a lot of followers online. They were asking questions. They were encouraging me. It was really nice. And then, thankfully, at the end of the 90 days, I did have the business professionally evaluated by a private company that I had never met. And they valued at just over 4 million. So it was super fun.
Wow.
I mean, I could totally do it again, which also sounds insane to most people.
4 million is amazing in 90 days. What was the business about, really? What was the details of the business?
Yes, so that business was a tax credit company.
Okay.
We help people. That business here during the pandemic, a lot of businesses struggled. So what that specific tax credit did was it helped gain some funds back to businesses that really needed it.
Wow, that's amazing. And you were able to get that up to 4 million.
Yes.
Did you struggle with the social media posting? How was that?
Yes, I did. Thank you for asking. I'm not like a poster. So I know there's apps, and I know I'm going to sound like completely archaic to most people. I know there's apps where you can like schedule all the posts, but I didn't do that. I did it manual, which made it take a lot of time. But I also did that because every day I just really wanted to be very fresh about what was happening in that moment. This was a real-time challenge. So honestly, I thought it would be really, I wanted to post every day about what I was really feeling in the moment. So I would post. I focused mostly on Instagram and Facebook because those are the two that I think I'm the most comfortable with. But yes, I did do that.
No TikTok. TikTok is for the Gen Z,
I tried that. I did try it, and then I did post on TikTok. But I think the more successful responses I saw were definitely from Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah. So now we've seen how you were able to use social media to start a business. I think that's really impressive. What about the current business you do now? Who do you help and how do you help them? The current coaching business.
So right now I have about 6 private clients, all different industries. I've never met an industry that I didn't think I could help. I think one industry that I don't have too much experience in is in tech. Sometimes it feels like a different language that they're speaking to me. But other than that, it's mostly like, I would say my sweet spot is businesses that are brand new up to like 5 million a year. Whenever they're over 5 million a year in revenue, it tends to be a larger company with different divisions. And I always like to be able to help and communicate with every single aspect of the business.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much, I would say, the core people that I'm helping currently.
Yeah. So what is the process like helping them? You go into their infrastructure, you go into their business, and you patch all the holes. And how do you do that?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think there's a version of me that's sort of like a financial therapist. Most of the time when a business is struggling, people are making decisions, and ego is a huge part of it, where they just think, if I could just figure this out, Well, fast forward like 2 to 5 years later, we're still having the same challenges and the issues. So I do go in and kind of uncover a lot of the issues, and I just very methodically fix them along with the business owners one by one. On average, clients work with me for about 18 months. And on average, most businesses grow 50% within the first year. But to be clear, fixing a business, if someone's been struggling for quite a few years, it's too much pressure on them to say, oh yeah, I'm going to come in and we're going to fix your business in a week. No, within the first month or two, hopefully the people are just taking better care of themselves and they're breathing better and they're understanding to have a bit more balance in their schedule. But taking a business and rehabilitating it takes a certain amount of time. Yeah. And I tell business owners, like, look, first 90 days, this is going to take a certain amount of time. I never want to put pressure on business owners. They're already under a lot of stress when they find me. So, but it's definitely a process.
One thing I liked that you said was like your average client lifeline is about 18 months. And I think that's
Yeah.
insane. Is there any secret to that? To keep them around for so long?
No, I mean, if anything, I tell them like the moment I think they don't need me anymore, I will. It's always a very positive conversation. I'll say to them, look, you don't need me. You're doing great. If you ever need me again, call me. But I don't want to take money from anyone that I don't think they need to pay me. Like I'm a very positive thinker. It's an abundant universe. I don't think anyone should work with me longer than they need to. But as far as the 18 months go, that's on average. I've had people work with me for 4+ years. If you are operating your business like a very smooth conveyor belt, income's great, profit's great, all the employees are communicating effectively with each other, don't do anything different. I don't think 18 months is a long time, but I do think we're in such a fast-paced society that people think they need this quick fix, and it's like, no. If we're talking about a business that has already been in existence for 8 years, first 2 years, it was doing great. Then they're struggling. If they work with me for 2 years so I can set them out on this wonderful course to have a successful business for the next 30 years, I don't think that 18 months is a long period of time at all in comparison.
In comparison, definitely. I think, and the fact that maybe you're dealing with businesses that are already established but they're struggling. The fact that they're already growing, they're not thinking about, oh, this is the cost and all this. But I think, you know what I mean? They're not really focused on cost because they know their business is working. They just need to get things right. They need to bring someone they know their business plan is working. They just need to fix the structure, if you know what I mean. Does that help as well?
I think, yes, absolutely. I think another reason why my clients do stay with me for a long time is I don't charge anyone a dime up front, which is sort of unheard of in my industry. I only work with people on a performance base. So that really eliminates a lot of the salesiness. Look, if you're already struggling, you don't need to pay me $25,000 up front. That's crazy to me. So I only, people pay me a percentage of their growth. So if in the first 2 months, they're still not growing, they're doing a lot of healthy things for the business. They just haven't seen the income growth yet. I'm not going to stop working with them. Great. Everything's moving along smoothly. Sometimes the income doesn't hit in the first 2 weeks. Sometimes it takes a few months. So I think because of that, people really do trust me and they trust the process a lot. I'm going to be paid, what I think I'm worth over time, but I have no problem putting in the effort into their business in the first few months, knowing I may not get paid for a few months.
I think that comes with a lot of confidence and not confidence in a. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Man, this is funny because I can't see anything on my screen right now. But man, okay, now it's good. Now it's good, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying, I think that comes with a lot of confidence, and not confidence in a bad way, but confidence in a good way, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially when starting out, they're afraid to give this sort of guarantee, and say, because they don't trust how good they are. You know what I'm saying? They want to say, oh, pay me up front so I can go away with them, so I can at least get something out of this. But if you know you can deliver results, if you know you can guarantee your client to be in a good place, you can say, hey, I guarantee you this. If I don't do this, there's a really great offer I saw, which was, this is like something like this. They help entrepreneurs, and they said, if we don't get you to 20 to 40 more clients, which is hot leads in the next 2 to 3 months, we will send you all your money back, and we will slap an extra $1,000 on that that's a way of saying sorry. So that comes with a lot of confidence in their ability, and they know we can deliver. So we're giving you that guarantee. You don't have to worry about anything. If you don't succeed, we don't succeed. So it's a commitment, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, this just happened really organically. I've never really no one's ever paid me upfront. It's always just been a percentage of the growth or a percentage of their income if it's like a startup. But I think for me, I've had moments, even after a certain amount of success, I've been homeless. I've been on public assistance. I've lost 5 properties at one point. I had 3 car repossessions. At moments in my professional, journey and adulthood, I absolutely struggled. So for me, I think, and I did wonder, like, why am I struggling after having like so much success? Like, it makes no sense. But I do think it helped mold my understanding of what it means to be an entrepreneur and to really go for it and to not be judgmental of the process. So the fact that I'm able to help people that are arguably really struggling in their business and take them from that place of despair. I've had clients tell me I saved their business, I saved their marriages, they didn't want to live anymore. The level of stress, depression, all of that comes into play. Like, especially, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, especially as entrepreneurs. So I do think part of my journey has absolutely shaped how I do business. I have a lot of confidence in the idea that everyone's going to pay me. They just won't pay me until, the business is really starting to grow. And that's worked out really well for me.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing mindset, as I said.
I hope you're enjoying this podcast. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're learning so much practical wisdom, because that's what I really wanted from this podcast. Now, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a team that can actually help you explode and go viral with your personal brand with proven methodologies, I say this because I've been doing this for the past 5 years. We've got a team of 30 people who are ready to go ahead and explode your brand so you can get clients begging to work with you. Have a chat with one of our advisors. You can book in a chat using one of the links around this video, because that chat might just change your life.
And one thing I picked on what you said was how, you coming in really affects the life of your clients, and not just in the workspace, not just in their business, but also you said a lot about family and someone not wanting to live. So maybe just go into that a bit.
Yeah, I think work-life balance, when a business is struggling, it's absolutely one of the top 10 things that I always talk about. Most of the time, when a person's running a business and they're struggling, they are overworking. There's no family life balance. They're not going on dates with their spouse. They're not going to the gym. They're not taking good care of themselves. They're working way too much, thinking that's going to solve the issue.
Yeah.
They don't go to church or temple or meditation center, whatever. There's no, the spirit is lacking as well. All of these things absolutely affect the success of a business. And most of the time, this is when the ego comes into play. Business owners are shocked when I say things like, okay, so instead of 70 hours a week, I want you to work 40 to 45. I want you to go to the gym 3 times a week. I want you to go on 2 dates a week. I want you to find whatever speaks to you, church, temple, and schedule it in, like, into your life. And then a few weeks after that, they literally look and feel like an entirely different person. It's very common for entrepreneurs to be workaholics. We tend to be working for ourselves. And even for me, like, I had to learn this, that, I could easily just be sitting in my home office on Zooms for most of the day and not really like interacting with the world out there. But it's just as important for me as it is for all of my clients. And once they find that balance and realize, so an example I often use for people is, if you're working 75 hours a week, and let's say you have a storefront and someone comes in like, hi, I'm a brand new customer. I'm looking at the menu, and the person behind the counter is completely exhausted. They haven't even taken a lunch break. They're like, how can I help you? As opposed to if you have a worker who's spirited and full of energy. Hi, welcome. Do you know that we have these specials and these combinations that you can have, and it's 20% off? Do you want to try one of those today? Which energy do you as a brand new customer want to receive going into a new establishment? And so if business owners can take a step back from the business, train all your employees really, now I'm talking about a lot of the different top 10 things I talk about, but if you train and give proper incentives to your employees, they will be a shining example of your business when you're not there. Most of the time, when you don't properly train an employee, they're not giving an A+ effort. They're going to, if you were to grade them, it might be a C minus. But that is a reflection of the business owner, 100%. Like, give them every incentive, give them all the bonus structures you need in the world for them to be a shining example when you're not around. That way you can pull back from the business, only work 40, 45 hours a week, have your work-life balance, but then your business doesn't suffer as much.
As much. Yes, definitely.
I had to throw that in because there are studies like even the best employees, are they going to be A plus? Maybe not. But if you're working 70 hours a week, are you A plus? No, you are not. But a great employee might be I don't mean to grade them like that, but I guess I do. They might be a B plus, and that's great.
B plus is good enough.
B plus work 20, 25 hours a week, and then you have your life back, and you're going to feel so much better for that.
Amazing. I think it's amazing to get inside of your process and see how you are able to help
Crazy
clients.
in here, I'm telling you.
It's crazy in there, right? And it's a lot of it's a lot of years of experience as well. You said you've been into a lot of things as well. So I think your insights to businesses must be really valuable. You have any plans for social media in 2025? Looking to grow on there?
I would love to. I definitely think I don't know it. Like, I've learned as a business owner, it's great to know what you're good at, and then you outsource the rest. I don't know. Like when I wrote the book and I thought, a few trusted friends said, this is amazing. I didn't really know how to market a book. So I hired an amazing marketing company. And sure enough, later that year it became a bestseller. I could not have done that on my own, without a doubt. I just wouldn't know the first thing to do. So I think social media, I've learned it's the same thing. I don't really understand it. Like, I love talking about business. But I absolutely would love to, I just want to help as many people as I can. And I think social media can be a really great avenue towards that.
I have two questions I want to ask. I think I'll start with the first one. The first one is, you say you're not good at it, but you were able to grow that account or to that following to, I think, 10K, you said?
Yeah.
So how does that work if you're not good at it?
I mean, thank you. That's a great question. I think what I did learn, and maybe I don't know if this is a social media secret, here's the thing. I really learned this from the music industry many years ago. And I think what I did with social media, I practiced that same lesson. Just be yourself. Be the best version of you that you can be. Most of my career as a singer-songwriter, I was compared to this one person. I won't say their name, but can you just be more like this person? Can you write songs like him? Can you look like him? Can your image be like him? Can you talk like it? And I heard that from close to 20 years, completely exhausting. So I think with social media, and I love that show, Undercover Billionaire. I was like, well, I think it's a great show. Why don't I just give myself the same challenge and I'm just myself every day. Yeah. So I think I was able to start building an audience based on that. Like, I remember there's one specific day I was so pissed that this one meeting didn't go well. Now, the universe shows you exactly what you need. That wasn't the best business partner for me for that. So I'm grateful now that business meeting didn't go well, but I was pissed, and I just hit record, and I was just looking. The first 10 seconds, I just stared at the camera like, I don't freaking believe this. I don't believe this. But that was an example of me just being me. And I think with social media, the more we can trust the journey of just being our authentic selves, I think that's that small part that I've learned, I think that's what resonates with people.
Yeah, and I think that's amazing. That's also what we focus on. We focus on organic content. A lot of people like to drive ads, and focus on organic content. You are a person. There are tons of other people like you. People are going to resonate with you if you are you. But if you are just trying to, you know what I mean, right? Exactly. Yes. So that's what we focus on. Let me not get into that. I think the second thing I wanted to ask you was, it's got out of my mind, but it was geared towards social media.
I comment on what you just said, though, because I thought it was interesting. So I do believe no one's my competition. My only competition is the mirror. So for me, and this is what I learned from consulting, I'm a very chill, zen, nerdy guy. I'm quiet. And being in those consulting environments where there'd be people like, hi, you know what we're going to do for you? Where, they have that big energy, big
Yeah.
voice. And I'm like, that's not me at all. Like I'm direct, I'm
Yeah.
succinct. And that's when I first learned, like, another example in life of just be the best Elliot. Just say to people like, yeah, I'm here to help you. I would love to help you. You need the help. And you're stressed out. And so you just talking like that to people, they're like, you're right. I am stressed out. It's like, hey, all I want to do is help alleviate your stress. This is how I can do it. I think learning that people will trust, like I think you can say a lot to someone. It's all about how you say it. So if I say to someone like, look, I'm going to tell you a lot of things that you don't necessarily want to hear, but I'm here to help you grow. And growth is uncomfortable. So if you can just trust me in the process, and even what I just did, that's an example of, if you notice, I really slowed down my verbiage. It helps calm the other person. So there's always an energetic exchange, especially in communicating, especially if I'm about to tell you 3 things that you don't want to necessarily hear. But I'm not here to be someone's friend. I'm here to help them grow and rehabilitate their business. So that's one of the tactics, one of my little secret nuggets that I do a lot. I just try to slow down the energy, because if someone's in a stressed out, like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? The first thing I'm going to do is talk really slow. Well, the first thing we need to do is finally look at your finances. My guess is maybe you haven't looked at your bank account statements in 4 to 7 months. Does that sound about right? Like just my tone and how I'm talking, that can begin the process. It's not instant, but it can help someone breathe.
Yeah, hearing all that, it sounds to me like you have a little bit of background in sales.
Well, the consulting I did when that was absolutely sales environments that I was a part of, when I was surrounded by these big, massive personalities, and I'm just this quiet dude, instantly thinking like, I don't belong here. What am I doing here? I'm not a good fit. But then I realized like that I don't have to try to become someone else. Let me just focus on being what I can offer. And that's even in like competitive environments, that can actually work for someone.
Definitely. I think I remember the question I was going to ask you is,
Yes.
You said something about you want your message to reach more people. You want to be able to help more people, right? I think that's the wording you used. So I thought, like, do you also work with individuals, or is it just companies?
I did. During the pandemic, I did a lot of online group sessions that I offered for free, just to help individuals begin the process of like learning. A lot of the things that I teach people it's certainly nothing I learned growing up. I mean, I talked earlier about, the challenges I experienced growing up. So I don't think I would personally love an educational system where we teach people like, this is money. This is how we grow it. This is how to actually be in the world. These are morals. These are ethics. Like, those are the things. This is how to communicate effectively. I think I would love to be, in my own small way, I think that's what I love, why I love talking to individuals, and done some group coaching in person as well, done some speaking engagements that I think we're not taught so much about business and money. And I'm very passionate about teaching people about that.
I hear you. So if you were to start, let's say you were to start a personal brand, maybe that was one of your goals for 2025. You would be the guy who was like the older guy. I'm not going to say dad, but like basically
Dang, you said
like,
the O word?
Huh?
You said older, man.
Did I say that?
I prefer like vintage or seasoned.
Vintage.
But go
seasoned.
ahead.
You'll be the veteran. How about veteran?
That's not bad.
Veteran. You'll be the veteran on social media, just reshaping what the younger ones think. Because what you said is true. A lot of us in school, the education system in general is, dare I say, cooked. Like, what they teach doesn't apply in the real world. The real world, when you get out, you realize the real world it's not university, it's not college. It is business, sales, how, not in the technical terms, but in your life, how to sell yourself, how to speak, how to have
Yes.
skills, how to grow skills, how to build connections and all that. And that's not taught in schools, you know?
Oh my goodness. I have so many. I love what you just said. I have so many responses. I can't think of them all. But I will say, for me, I would daydream a lot in school. Obviously, there was a lot of trauma that I hadn't dealt with, which is totally understandable. But I also felt like I never felt like I was given the opportunity to learn the things that I was passionate about.
Yeah.
And so I do think I don't want to sound like one of those older people, but as a veteran, I would say that a veteran in business, I'd say, I think with social media and the internet, people are taught, encouraged to have these very fast-paced lifestyles. Everything happens so fast. We're so impatient. And even the way I structure, as we talk about my coaching business, that, yeah, they stay with me for a few years because there's no rush. There really isn't a rush. So I do think one of the challenges I see with the younger generation is, are they communicating effectively? And that's something that even as a young, entrepreneur and business owner, I saw myself struggle with, so this is a few decades ago, that am I taught how to enter a room? People feel really comfortable with me. I think that's why I love the fact that I can help businesses in many different
Assets.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm relatable like that. And I think the more anyone can walk into a room and make people feel at ease, that's a huge part of any successful business. Whether I'm a customer walking into your business, or whether you're walking into a potential business meeting where we're going to negotiate something, can I make everyone feel cool and at ease around me? I think that's a huge. I've actually never really talked about that, but I think it's a huge component to a business being really successful.
Definitely. And I think that's one way you can serve individuals. You'll still have your, obviously your coaching in terms of your business coaching won't really apply to individuals, but what we just spoke about is really a big way you can reach individuals. I don't know what you were posting about in that, challenge you did, but this message, which you seem to have a lot of experience in, definitely seems like something you can pass on to many people and help change lives.
I would love that. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I think we've come, a little full circle here. One thing I will ask you though is, what is something you wish I asked you on this podcast?
Oh, no, I thought your questions were amazing. I always think like interviews, I think I'm rare from what I've been told. I don't like to know questions up front. I've had people, especially when I was being interviewed a lot regarding the book a few years back, and people would say, do you want me to just send the 22 questions up front so you can prepare? And I said, no, I want every conversation to just flow. I don't want to control the narrative or the dialogue in any way. I just kind of trust the process. I think that's what my journey in life has taught me it's best to do. Like, I like to show up and get out of the way. So
wow,
that's my answer.
So you kind of answered without answering. So my question was, what is one thing?
No, there wasn't anything that.
Yeah.
Oh,
what would you wish I asked you? Maybe you were expecting something.
Oh, we really covered a lot. So that actually is an amazing question. What is one thing I wish you asked? Oh, I guess what's next? What do I want to do next?
So what do you want to do next, Mr. Elliott?
Well, my list is long. And that's part, there's so much going on up here. So I have to still this day, like I do consider myself still a student of life. I have to remember to breathe. Like there's only so many hours in a day. I do think I'm going to write another book. I think at some point I'm going to record more music. I do have an idea for a TV show. And the TV show idea is a bit in line with what you, it's just my ability to help as many people as I can at once. The work that I do, you know, I mean, if I'm speaking to, say, like a conference where there's thousands of people there, hopefully in some small way, I can try to inspire a bunch of people at once. But when I think of like the legacy I want to leave, how can I touch and inspire as many people as possible? I think my TV show idea is one of the best vehicles to do that. I think, and you know, growing a larger audience on social media would be another wonderful way to do that. At this point, I do just want to leave as much of a inspiration and impact that I can.
I think that's great. I think that's great to hear. And I definitely think you are on the track to achieving that. I definitely do.
Thank you.
And
why did you ask that? No, I'm just kidding.
Why did I ask? Why did I ask? The reason I ask is, let me tell you, this is something I asked everyone on this podcast, actually. So I ask it at the end, and everyone has the same reaction. Oh, that's such a good question. That's such a good question.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think the viewers would know. Okay. Where can the people go to learn and find more about your work?
So everything's just my name. My name has a very interesting spelling. So Eliot's just one of everything, Eliot. And my last name is Popkin, Popkin. So on Instagram, I'm probably most active on Instagram. Instagram is just Eliot Popkin. Facebook is Eliot Popkin. And my website, where they can book a call if they want to try and see if, you know, we're a good fit to work together. That's just EliotPopkin.com.
Might want to spell that name.
Oh, again?
You
Eliot
did? I think I didn't
no worries.
catch that.
Eliot is one of everything. Eliot. It's only one of everything. There's no additional letters. Popkin is Popkin. There's no S at the end. I'm just one guy. There's not an S. So it's just EliotPopkin.com.
EliotPopkin.com. That is EliotPopkin. I don't want you missing any leads on here.
Yes.
So
thank you.
Yes, I think it's been an amazing one, and it's been amazing to have you on the show. Thank you, Eliot.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I want you to go away and execute everything there is that you've learned. Now, one thing I will say is if you're in a position where you're ready to actually take things to another level, you want structured, clear guidance, you want a team that can actually help accelerate you, book in a chat with our advisors. Why? We can blow up your personal brand to attract clients begging to work with you. All you got to do is book in a chat with our advisors and we can help make it happen. Sound fair enough?